And we are live. Cool. Let's have a quick check on who's arrived already, just so that we can have a good idea of who's joining us. All right. Hey, everyone joining early. Welcome. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. While we let everyone else filter in, I'm sure that more people will join us in a couple of minutes' time. But yeah, in the meantime, grab a drink, grab a coffee, make yourself comfortable, and also just pop in the chat where you're joining from. I'm always interested to see where everyone's tuning in from. And yeah, we've got a great session lined up today about creating a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week check-in without needing a 24/7 team. And we've got Ella here today from Altitude. And she's also, been in the trenches running hotels before in the life before tech. So I think it's going to be an exciting chat today. And yeah.
It's great to be here.
Oh, I can see a couple of people. We've got Jade from Tweed Harbour Moto Inn. Hello, Jade. We've got people from Blenheim, Hunter Valley, Victoria Hotel River Glen. I can recognize a couple of our customers, so it's lovely having customers on the stream as well. Um, really awesome. We've got Billy from Otahanga.
Hi, Billy.
All right, we'll just give a couple of minutes more, and then we might start. Yeah, the crowd's definitely building, which is exciting. All right, I think it looks like we've got a pretty good crowd coming in. So I think what we can do is maybe let's jump straight into it. So hi, everyone. Welcome again if you've missed the start. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin from Preno, and this session is all about something every hotelier would love, delivering a 24/7 experience without needing a 24/7 team. I mean, we all know the challenge. Guest expects instant responses and seamless service no matter what time of day. But you and your team can't be on call 24 hours. So today we're talking about how technology can take on some of that load, automating the repetitive stuff, freeing your team, and focus on moments that really matter. So I'm really excited today to be joined by Ella from Altitude. And if you're not familiar with Altitude, Altitude builds great guest experience tools like digital compendiums, apps, kiosks that plugs directly into Preno. And we have already got a bunch of mutual customers using the integration to give their guests a smoother, more connected experience. And it's been really awesome seeing how it's reshaping their operations in real time. Ella is also the co-founder and the COO at Altitude, and she's been a hotelier herself in the past, very similar to Preno's founding story. So I really enjoy, working with Ella in this partnership. She spent years at Wellington's Bolton Hotel. It's a five-star boutique property where she's managed everything from guest relations to business development. So she knows firsthand the tension between keeping service personal and keeping the lights on 24/7. Um, Now she's at Altitude and she's helping us, she's helping hotels use technology to solve that problem, scaling guest experiences without losing the human touch. And today's webinar is going to be really interesting and practical. So we'll dig into what's working for real properties right now and how you can build a truly 24/7 guest experience at your own property. Ella, Really awesome to have you here. Welcome. And
Thank you.
yeah, right before we dive into the altitude side, I'll give a quick overview of Preno for anyone joining who hasn't come across us before. Um, and Preno is an all-in-one property management system designed for mid-sized hotels and accommodation businesses. We handle the nuts and bolts of daily operations, from managing bookings and guest profiles to automating billing and connecting your availability to online channels. So you and your team can focus on hospitality, not the admin. Um, and what makes Preno a little different is how it brings everything together so simply and powerful enough to run your property end to end. But it's also intuitive enough that your team can pick it up without weeks and weeks of training. We integrate directly with tools you already use, like Zero Accounting System and Restaurant Point of Sale, so data flows automatically across your business. Ultimately, Preno is giving hoteliers like you your time back, whether it's freeing your front desk from repetitive tasks, simplifying night audits, or giving you a clear picture of performance across your rooms and rates. We help you operate smarter and not harder. And that's exactly why this integration with Altitude matters, because when your PMS and your guest tools work hand in hand, you can deliver that 24/7 guest experience without burning out your team. So that's enough from me. I've talked a lot. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Ella, and I'm excited to hear what she's sharing with you today.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen quickly. One moment. Alrighty. Now, everyone can see that one. All right.
Yes, it looks like it.
Perfect. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So I am Ella from Altitude and very excited to be here with the Preno team to share a bit about how properties like yourselves can offer 24/7 check-in without the 24/7 team. So we'll look at the real challenges around what you're facing as operators, what guests expect today, and how connected platforms can save you hours every week without, all while giving guests a nice, smooth arrival experience. So, most of you will know this story all too well. So, a guest calls late and they need to check in. Or you've just sat down after a long day and you're finally taking a moment to relax and you're called back to the property. Otherwise, on the other hand, queues are building up, calls keep coming in, payments and bookings are piling up, and you're really stuck at that desk. You're glued to the front desk, and you're just trying, you and your team, to keep on top of those arrivals and departures. So costs keep rising while team members are stretched thin, and sometimes you even miss out on walk-ins because you can't be everywhere at the same time. So these are everyday problems, but they really don't have to be. So guest expectations are changing. So guests are comfortable doing things from their phones now, used to more of a tech first guest experience. So if you think about ordering food, maybe booking an Uber, or the check-in experience when you go on a flight. Now technology helps you create flexible check-in and check-out. You can offer walk-in bookings, fast and easy arrivals as well, smooth, secure experiences, and tech that really just makes things a whole lot easier. So, to give you a very high level, quick overview of what Altitude does. So, we are a modular platform and we're really focused on connecting every part of that guest journey and operations. So, anything from pre arrival right through to when the guest departs, we help you implement self service to really save time for you and your teams and reduce things like operating expenses. So we integrate with awesome companies like property management systems like Preno. And with those integrations, we get real time information and everyone has the right information as and when they need it. So as you can see here, we've got a couple of guest-facing solutions. We'll talk about the kiosk and the guest app today, but we also have a back-of-house platform which you can use for daily operations, either at your desk or on the go as well. So if we take a moment, I'll just kind of walk through what that guest journey might look like. So your guest books their reservation through your booking engine, and that lands in Preno. Preno integrates with Altitude, and then a couple of days before they arrive, the guest receives a pre-arrival email or a text message from Altitude or from Preno. And so in that pre-arrival message, they can then get a link which will take them off to a web page where they can update their guest details, payments, process them with authorizations as well, upload their ID documents, and even do things like requesting upsells and extras and things. So once the guest has completed that, get to arrival day and they get to the property. And from that pre-arrival web page, they get a QR code. And that QR code they can scan at a kiosk and their key will be cut for them and they'll get a receipt printed out with their everything for their stay. So their room number, Wi-Fi password, contact numbers, things like that. Now, on the other hand, if you don't use the pre-arrival aspect, the guest can just check in at the self-service kiosk. So that means that they complete the full check-in flow themselves through self-service. They get their room key and or their PIN code and a receipt, and they are done. So I'll take you through a little bit about kind of what that pre-arrival registration might look like. So during that process, as I mentioned, it's a web-based page, or you can actually create a downloadable app as well. So you can update, as I mentioned, your guests can update their details, upload IDs. All of that data is captured before they arrive to your property. So it really saves you time and speeds up that paperwork and arrival process. Um, when they're in-house as well, they can also access things like your compendium. Maybe you have some local events and attractions you'd like to show guests, maybe guides, also things like maintenance requests, lost property, feedback surveys. So it's really customizable depending on what you have at your property. And it's really just there to create that seamless contactless start to the guest stay. If we move into the self check-in and check-out, we've got our kiosk here. So this is really just a plug and play solution. So all it needs is some power, a power point, and maybe an Ethernet connection. And everything you need for that self-serve check-in is in the machine already. So we'll jump on and help you set it up. It will look and feel like your property. And then guests, when they arrive, you can see at the top there, we've got the camera. You can capture IDs and photos of the guests when they're arriving. Down the bottom, you've got the card dispenser and the receipt printout. And so that's really designed to just be able to sit in your reception on a table and then also can cater for things like walk-in bookings as well. So where you just add a link to that front page, send the guests off to your booking engine, they make their reservation. Preno will then sync with Altitude, and then shortly thereafter they can check in on the kiosk when they arrive. So as you can imagine, there's a whole bunch of really great benefits. And firstly, you've got a connected guest journey. So that means you've got that information from your guests. Obviously, after hours, you get a few, far fewer late night calls for check-ins, maybe early morning starts and the likes. Less time spent on admin, more time for guests and doing other things. Increased revenue. So if you do want to offer walk-ins and things like that, you can do so. And then you have consistent real-time information across your different solutions. So on average, about across Altitude, it's roughly about 70 seconds for a check-in to be processed, and about a little bit quicker, 30 seconds for a check-out as well. So I'll give you a couple of examples of customers who are already live using the integration. So Airport Stays is based in Wellington, and they've got a really great setup around how 24/7 or what 24/7 operations can look like. So they're using our self-service kiosk with Preno and have really focused on targeting or meeting the requirements of their guests who are often airport travelers. So coming in late at night, leaving early in the morning, and often outside of those standard hours. So they're now completely contactless at reception, and they have not had to compromise on guest service. So the key things really are the freedom and flexibility there. So they've been able to manage guest check-ins completely remotely, either from home on a desktop or even from their mobile phone where they can encode keys and things like that. There's often an aspect around safety as well and security. So I'll talk a little bit more about that soon, but you're able to have an overview of what's happening at your property kind of 24 hours around the clock. Naturally, it's a very modern guest experience, and it feels welcoming even without the team members. And yes, absolutely 24 hours a day available, which is amazing to see. The next one we'll have here is MyPad. So MyPad's based in Queenstown, and they are very much a tech-first hotel, and they are using our guest app. So that's the downloadable version of that pre-arrival web app I spoke about earlier. So they've implemented a complete digital guest experience. So from the point of post-booking right through to departure. So I was speaking with Harry, who's a hotel manager there, and he was saying guests can check in for their flight in Sydney, and then they can check in for their hotel room at the same time. They get off the flight and they skip the queue at reception and head straight to their room to get on and enjoy their stay. So it's really great to hear that guests are able to skip any queues, open doors from their phone with mobile keys, and then MyPad. Once guests are in, they can control things like their lights and the blinds and temperatures and things like that too. So they've really prioritized that complete experience. Naturally, they've been able to save money in operating expenses like wage costs, and they have everything all in one place when they need it. Lastly, we have Otahonga Kiwi Holiday Park with Billy, who I believe is on the call. And Billy's been able to implement self-service as well, so alongside with Preno. So a key thing has really been for the improved safety aspect. So having with guest envelopes, if there's no, you're able to make sure that guests get the right room information, the right keys, without worrying that they might pick up the wrong ones. So there's also no need to meet guests in reception naturally, and there's also that freedom and flexibility to manage guest requests remotely. And a large majority of Billy's guests are now checking in at Otahonga Kiwi Holiday Park using the kiosk as well. So there is a lot of other, aside from the software, there's a few other things that you might need to consider for after hours check-in. So these will help you be able to manage a remote so that you know that if anything did happen that was unexpected, you're able to get in touch with the guest and help them. So things like security and cameras, they help with allow you to obviously monitor your area and be able to view the cameras if something's happening. Accessing keys, so understanding what type of access you'd like your guests to have to your rooms. This could be anything from PIN codes with lock boxes through to RFID keys, or even Apple or Google Wallet keys as well. The next one is communication. So offer a guest a way to reach you easily. So this could be an open phone line or a buzzer or some type of way that they can get in touch. And then signage and lighting. So making sure guests know what they're doing, where they need to go, and what they need to do to check in as well. So to get set up is relatively straightforward. So Altitude, like Preno, already works with the systems that you use. So we connect to your Preno account and it's a two-way integration. So that means Altitude is updated and so is Preno. And so that gives you that real-time information. So next you go ahead and add your branding and customize it, and you give it a really good test and make sure it looks and feels how you want it to. And then you can go live in weeks. So you're able to really get the system up and running and working for you and saving you a whole bunch of time. So let's talk about what this means for you. So With Altitude and Preno, you can save hours each week by reducing that manual check-in and after-hours calls. You can automate that front desk admin so you and your team can focus on guests and daily operations and actually getting a good break. And you can maintain after-hours service without the cost of extra staff. And you get a quick return on investment, and most properties see that come back in months, not years. So and last but not least, you can also implement walk-ins, so you can see an increase in revenue as well. So before we finish up, I just want to leave you with something practical. So if you're curious around how self check-in might work for you and at your property specifically, feel free to get in touch with either us at Altitude or the team at Preno, and we can take you through a guest arrival review. So what that means is we'll chat with you about your guest journey and show you exactly how Altitude could fit in with your existing setup with Preno and your other systems. So thank you very much, and I believe we're on to Q&A now. Thank you.
And I'm back on stage. And yes, you're right. Q&A. So for people on the call, there is actually a questions section where you can actually post your questions if you haven't already, but I can see a few questions already come through. But definitely send more of your questions and I'll read them out for Ella to answer. But yes, I'll start off with a quick question. What door locks does Altitude work with?
Oh, I can show you. Shall I go back quickly?
Yeah.
So we've got quite a few. Oh, apologies. So down the bottom here. So we work with Dormicaba, Goki, Salto, Asa Abloy, so Vincard, and Onity and VDA as well. So a bit of a range.
That's wonderful. And what do you see as like in New Zealand, like is there quite a lot of a specific brand, or is it kind of just all of the above?
Yeah, a bit of a mix. So some properties are using Salto, Dormicaba, or Asa Abloy as well. So those are probably the three most common.
Brilliant. And there's another question that asks about does it work with PIN codes?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So with PIN codes, what we do is we have a place in our backend where you can update the PIN number, and then that will print out on the receipt for the guest, so they can then go off and use the PIN code. If it's from a specific system, we can chat a bit further around maybe automating that for you a bit further.
Wonderful. That should answer that. This one seems quite technical, but I hope you can answer this. Are the keys printed in auto mode, or we should preload the keys based on arrivals?
What was the word? This?
To repeat, are the key printed in auto mode, or we should preload the key based on arrivals?
Oh, so hopefully I'm going to answer this question correctly. But so within the unit, you can preload up to 150 keys, and so you'll get a notification via either email or via our app as well that they need to be topped up, and then the guests can also feed those back into that unit. So there's always keys available, and you'll never run out.
Cool. This one's possibly on a kiosk one, but is it possible to capture guest credit card, photo ID, and a pre-authorization for after hours?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So we can capture them both in the pre-arrival registration and then also on the kiosk as well. So the kiosk unit, we can attach a payment terminal to the side, and then the guest can just tap their card and we can either process a full payment for arrival, we can take deposits or authorizations as well. And then also when we capture the guest ID, that is via either the camera on the phone or on the kiosk as well. So, yeah. all taken care of.
Cool, cool. Oh, there's lots of questions coming through. There's quite a few double ups, so that's okay. Can it work if you don't have digital keys? We still have physical keys and locks in our doors.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have lock boxes, that's probably our recommended route for that. So you just pop your physical key in the lockbox, and then we would print that receipt with the code to access. But yes, we do have customers who have those physical keys.
Nice, nice. And I'm just conscious on the time as well, and I'm just gonna maybe pick up one last question. Do you support automatic checkout? And what are the risks of auto checkout that you have come across?
Might have to clarify a little bit,
Yeah.
but the way it works with Altitude is
Mhm.
from a billing perspective. So we would just take the billing codes that you've set up in either Preno or how you do them at your property, and then we will show the guest their final bill. We've obviously captured that credit card when they've checked in, so we can process that payment and they will be checked out via Altitude. As I say, it's a pretty quick process, and seems to work very well. We've got a lot of success through there. So, yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, I think those are main questions. But again, if we haven't answered any of your specific questions, you can definitely reach out to us through our support chat. And also, if there's any questions that we haven't answered, we'll certainly follow it up. But now that we've gone through the Q&A, and also conscious of the time, it's time for us to wrap up. So to wrap up, Alice showed you how Preno and Altitude work together. Again, the integration is live and being used by properties right now, and it's a really seamless setup, and it connects to Preno and Altitude's suite of products. So your guests will get more self-service options, and your team will breathe a little easier. So if you want to learn more of how it could work for your property, definitely reach out to our team, and we can definitely connect you with Ella's team as well at Altitude, and we'll help you get started. Thanks again, Ella, for joining us for such a good chat, and thanks to everyone that has also tuned in. Thank you for your time. And whether you're catching this live or watching the recording later, I hope that today's webinar has given you some ideas to take back to your team and your property. But yeah, until next time, keep finding smarter ways to deliver those great guest experiences without losing sleep. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Bye.